Oh, yeah, look at that skyline in New York City. That's the Hudson River right in front of it. And I'm assuming that shot is from the top of MetLife Stadium across the river, where the NFL Network doubleheader on this Saturday is going to kick off between the Texans and the Jets. Sam Darnold arriving for work. We are up and running on a Saturday on NFL Network.
On Sunday, the streak was snapped.
Game is over. The winning streak is over.
Will the first-place Texans get right today as they march into the Meadowlands? Meanwhile, the Jets' rookie signal caller is taking off.
What a play by Sam Darnold!
But who should they target this offseason to help Sam Darnold soar as a sophomore? Plus, with the Steelers reeling and wild cards still uncertain, we tackle all of tomorrow's critical matchups to reveal who's in and who's out. That's all right here on NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC.
My name, are you ready?
Rock and roll! Touchdown! Fires one into the end zone. It is caught.
What an outstanding play.
Tip, and it is intercepted.
They made it look easy.
This is a team very thirsty to get a win.
Welcome to NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC.
Ah, yes, the revelry in the parking lot out in New Jersey for Jets fans, kicking off our coverage of the Saturday doubleheader. Michael Irvin getting stuff out of his briefcase. No, Michael, whatever you need, you go ahead and get. Maurice Jones-Drew, Pro Football Hall of Famer Michael Irvin. I am Rich Eisen, taking you up to kickoff in 2.5 hours from now. And the stage has already been set with what we saw on NFL Network on Fox on Thursday night. That incredible finish to the Thursday night football season with the Chargers surprising the Kansas City Chiefs, keeping that one seed
a great game.
Wide open.
That was a great one, Rich.
Yeah, it was really incredible. The Texans need to win out to have a hope at a bye week spot, it appears. That said, what we saw last time we saw the Texans against the Indianapolis Colts, no bueno. Take a look.
Texans have won 9 in a row. Pushing the pile, and he pushes him into the end zone. Touchdown. Luck. He's got him rolling in. Touchdown. The Colts have taken their first lead. He's got his receiver. That is Hilton once again. Continues to torch the secondary. They were looking for DeAndre Hopkins. Watson. Hopkins could not get it. Luck to the end zone. Touchdown, Pascal.
If the Texans make a stop, they have a chance to extend the game.
Get him with the hard count. Oh, and Clowney may have jumped. Oh, they did. How about that?
The winning streak is over. The Texans fall to Indianapolis.
That was a very difficult loss for Houston because it definitely complicates their ability to clinch the AFC South just this week. But obviously there's 2 weeks left to go. You could see the Jets are already done. They are eliminated. But with a game against the Packers and then the Patriots to finish things out, the Jets are have a say in a way in the AFC and NFC potentially playoff pictures from here on out. So what do we learn about the Texans, Michael Irvin, based on how the Colts beat them last week?
Well, first of all, Rich, I thought that at any time you could say that was a good loss. This was a good loss for the Texans because it refocuses them. But one of the things that I did notice when I watched that game, and I watched it again the other day, is some of the mental mistakes that the Texans are making. Right now, you're talking about playing December football, getting ready to go into January, and getting ready to go into the playoffs. You can't make those mental mistakes. Sometimes Deshaun Watson's holding on to the ball a little too long. He's having problems with blitzes. And I'm telling you right now, it seems like every play is a great play. They need to get him some easy blitz beaters so he can just drop back and get rid of the ball quickly. And they're trying to do some of that with Demaryius Thomas and some smoke routes, but they need more of it.
You know, for me, it was more of what the Colts did than more of what happened to Houston. Andrew Luck and T.Y. Hilton was unbelievable. You don't practice all week. You come back, you give them 199 yards, and then what they did scheme-wise, really nullifying that pass rush. I mean, it was unreal to see that. J.J. Watt and those guys, when they were getting there, Andrew Luck was finding a way to get the ball out. And this is a concern. When your secondary is allowing a guy who's coming off a banged-up ankle and shoulder and all these different injuries to just run free like this, that's concerning come playoff time because guess what? Teams are going to focus on the things that you've done not so well in the regular season. They're going to try to exploit those.
But you got to give Frank Wright some credit here, and I don't know that we do, because he designed a great game plan for the Texans. I mean, every time the Texans scored, hey, Indy came right back and scored. The Texans, then Indy went up. And then when Texas closed, they went up again. It was an incredible game plan that Andrew Luck executed perfectly down the stretch.
It's no question that they did that, and also there's no question Irv's already starting his talking up the opponent to help the Dallas Cowboys plan for the rest of the weekend. And you're starting early. You've got 2 shows in which to do it.
That was the best part about rewatching that game, because I was studying for tonight and looking towards what's going to be playing the Cowboys on Sunday.
See,
I was like, this is good.
There's always more than meets the eye. There's always more than meets the eye. It's a big game in Week 15 on Sunday as Colts and Cowboys in Indianapolis. But let's focus on the here and now. Right now, we're getting you set for Texans and the Jets. And Colleen Wolfe is hanging out in the stadium along with Reggie Bush and Mike Garafolo in the hangar. You're literally hanging out in the hangar, correct, Colleen?
We are. It's perfect. We've been in the hangar all day, too. So if we stay here long enough, there eventually will be a game that's played behind us. I have faith in that right now. So, Reggie, when that does happen, what are you looking forward to most?
I'm looking forward to seeing Sam Darnold play today. So, yeah, I'm dealing with it, too. Me and Irv, we both dealing with it. I'm looking forward to see how does Sam Darnold match up going against this top 5 scoring defense. How is he going to handle the pressure that's applied by Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt? Right now, Sam Darnold has 15 interceptions, 12 touchdowns. He has more interceptions than he has touchdowns. If the New York Jets want to have a shot at winning this game today, they have to play mistake-free football, and Sam Darnold has to be consistent today.
To me, I'm looking at DeAndre Hopkins, 36 receiving yards last week, fewest since week 6 of last year when he had 19. How did he bounce back from that? 224 yards the following game. So I'm looking to see if he's got that kind of bounce back. The Jets don't tend to follow guys with their cornerbacks. They might do that here, but might not. Either way, they're going to be on top of him. When I spoke to Bill O'Brien this week, he said DeAndre Hopkins is just a big physical guy. He's got great hands, and his ability to make contested catches might be second to none, and you're seeing some of them right here. He said he usually does see the other team's #1 cornerback. Doesn't know if it's going to happen here. Either way, they are expecting a bounce back from Hopkins.
I'm looking for a bounce back from Lamar Miller. The Houston Texans could not run the ball last week. They averaged 2.7 yards per carry. Their leading rusher was Deshaun Watson. But this week with the Jets, they can definitely run on the Jets. Since week 10, they are the worst run defense in the NFL. Nobody has allowed more rushing yards per game than the Jets. So it's going to be a good matchup, at least for Lamar Miller to bounce back, because you don't want to have all of that pressure on Deshaun Watson. You don't want him absorbing hits, especially with his injury history this year with his lungs and everything else. So you need to establish the run and do it early.
And that's also been part of their success this year, is having that balanced attack with Lamar Miller, providing that foundation at the run game for him and really allowing the play action to open up down the field, throwing the football to Demaryius Thomas and DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, so that's what we're looking forward to today. We're just also looking forward to the game actually playing behind us, Rich. It's going to be great.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I mean, Houston and New York faced each other in the playoffs a couple of years ago, the ALCS. Rockets and Knicks back in the 90s. Don't forget Costanza with the Astros executives. I mean, there was I can't go any further into that, but we're off and running.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by KFC's $20 fill-up. It's finger-licking good.
Okay, there's MetLife. Oh, the flag snapping today on a chilly Saturday to kick off a Saturday of doubleheader activity in Week 15 that kicked off Thursday night with some exhilarating action.
Unstoppable, presented by Courtyard by Marriott.
Chargers down 2 scores.
Handoff to Jackson. Dives into the end zone, and we got a 1-score game. Mahomes in trouble and sacked.
70 yards to go to tie this thing up.
What a grab. So now 4th and 8 pass is caught. Benjamin sets up the first down.
3rd and goal from the 10.
Williams, one-hand grab it out of bounds, but a flag. And they're going to call it against Kansas City.
This will go to the 1. 28-21 Chiefs, 8 seconds left. 1st and goal.
Rivers passes. Caught. Touchdown, Chargers.
Chargers are going to go for 2.
4 seconds left. Rivers goes to the end zone. Caught. Chargers lead 29-28.
I must admit, it was great seeing that young man right there play big in that game. in that Thursday night game when we were there. Yeah. I talked about it, MJD, in the pregame show. I said, Mike Williams, one of the Williams boys, they have to step up and play big and give Keenan Allen some help. And let me show you how big he did step up and how well he did play. Watch this young kid here up top. Oh, Mike, this is what I love. He's going to reset him on the inside. And the patience to go to the corner. He knows if I go out there too quick, I will get out of bounds, give the quarterback some room, 2 yards to the end zone, and he catches that play. Right here, this was just a misunderstanding by the DBs. They were trying to pass on the receiver, and they let Mike Williams go on a 2-point conversion to win the game. He was wide open. He was so happy right here. Man, we had Phillip Rivers on the set afterwards, MJD. He said, I don't care anybody say anything about him being the 7th pick in the draft. He proved his worth tonight. What were your thoughts about what you said?
My biggest thoughts are this. The Kansas City Chiefs, you want to be a Super Bowl contender. You want to be a playoff team, and yet you're up 14 in the fourth quarter, and you blow that lead. And it wasn't because of the defense. It wasn't because it was that last drive. We talk about situational football, 4-minute offense. Kareem Hunt was missed in that situation. You couldn't run the ball. You couldn't get a first down. You couldn't find a way to end the game. In the playoffs, you got to end the game. You could throw all those yards, have all these fancy plays, run around, throw it behind your back, throw it left-handed. But come the playoff time, you got to close out games. Kansas City have to find a way to do that later in the year.
In their 3 losses, they've averaged 39 points per game. It's still all losses. Think about those guys that they'll have to play in the playoffs. Tom Brady. Yeah. Ben Roethlisberger. Phillip Rivers. All quarterbacks that could beat you in the end if they are still there. Who wins the AFC West?
That's tough. You know, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think the Chargers have an easier road. I know the Baltimore Ravens are doing a great job. You know, they're playing well. Lamar Jackson has them all. We're all together. It's us. Come on, it's us. We're a team, right? We're going to make this thing work. You're going to do your part. I'm going to do mine. But that long travel out west is always tough to do. Playing in L.A. is a little bit tougher than playing in Baltimore. So I say the Chargers are going to win it, and then plus the Chiefs have to go to Seattle.
Yeah, and I still think the Chiefs should go in Seattle and win that game and come out and win the West. But the game was so big for Phillip Rivers in the Chargers the other night because, like he told us, we may see them again, and at least now we know we can beat them. That's how big that game was. You may not end up winning the West, but when you see them again, you know you can beat them. Rich?
Yeah, I'd sign up to see that one again in January. That would be a heck of a game. What a game it was on Thursday night. We see the city all beautiful. I mean, what a spot to be right around Christmas time. New York City. More from across the Hudson in a moment.
GameDay Kickoff is brought to you by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
3-time Defensive Player of the Year coming into the building today to try and take down Sam Darnold and the Jets and get the Texans back on the winning track on the day at My Claws, My Cleats. The week continues. We saw the last couple weeks, that's Demaryius Thomas's cleats, trying to end the cycle of domestic abuse. Robbie Anderson giving a shout out to youth in his native Broward County right there. Meanwhile, the Jets and the Texans, it's a big game right there in MetLife. Jets trying to make it 2 in a row, trying to potentially save the job of their head coach, Todd Bowles, while the Texans need to get back on the winning ways. Let's send things back out to the hangar and Colleen Wolfe.
Thank you, Rich. All right, we're going to play a little game here called Names and Numbers. I'm going to throw out some big names that are going up against each other this week. And
we give you the numbers.
Exactly.
Sort of.
Look at that. Garofalo, he finishes my sentences. That's how close we are in the show. All right, so I'm going to start with you, Mike G.
Yes.
More total yards, Jameis Winston or Lamar Jackson?
Ravens defense, I need you on this one. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a dummy. But I'm going to say Lamar Jackson here. I think Jameis Winston, the way the Ravens are playing defensively, they can rein him in a little bit. He's put up a lot of yards the last couple of weeks. But I figure with Lamar going up against this Tampa Bay secondary, going to throw it a little bit more, maybe a season high in yardage, passing wise. Then give me 50 to 70 yards rushing. All of a sudden we're in and I look smart.
And the Bucs, they struggle on the road too. That defense does. Okay, Reggie, you're up. More rushing yards, Nick Chubb or Phillip Lindsay?
I'm going to go with Phillip Lindsay on
He's
this
your boy.
one. Yeah, I love watching this guy play. I love everything he brings to the table. I love the explosive and aggressive nature that he plays with. But also he's going up against the Cleveland Cleveland Browns defense that has not been great against the run all season long. There are a ton of holes, gaping holes in this run defense. They have to find a way to get better on defense, but I just think right now Philip Lindsay's going to tear them apart. I like him to go for maybe 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. 150, 2 touchdowns.
Just a cool 150, no big deal. That would put him over 1,000 yards by plenty for the season. Colleen, for you, more receiving yards, Amari Cooper or T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton has not practiced this week.
Right.
My understanding is he's going to at least try to play here, so take
Who's
that.
answering this question right now?
I'm giving you the information. I'm giving you the data. And then you spit out the answer.
Hilton, every single day this week, he's missed practice. No Colts player that has missed practice all week has ended up playing that week. So I'm worried about T.Y. Hilton. Even if he does play, I don't know if he's going to be 100% healthy. So I'm going with Amari Cooper. Guys, since week 10, no Cowboy has had more, or no receiver in the entire league has had more receiving yards or more touchdowns than Amari Cooper. He's on fire right now, so I'm going with him. Okay, here we go. Jeezy, you're up now. More points here. Bears offense or Bears defense?
It's kind of like a disrespectful type deal. I mean, the offense should score more than the defense. But I went back to week 1. I looked at it. Each one of them was responsible for 1 touchdown, although you give the offense credit for the field goal. So I'll go Bears offense here, but I'm looking for this defense to make a game-changing play. I know these guys are extremely motivated to clinch this division against the Packers and avenge that week 1 loss, which could have been sealed by Kyle Fuller holding on to that football for an interception at the end of the game. So maybe he's the one who makes the change.
And again, no disrespect to the Bears offense. That's for you, MJD. Okay, Reggie, here we go. More total yards. Alvin Kamara or Christian McCaffrey?
See, this is a tough one because they both do a lot of the same exact things. I love watching both of them play. I think I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey because the Carolina Panthers, because it could go either way, but the Carolina Panthers are in desperation mode right now. They have to win this football game just to have a shot to stay in this run towards the playoffs. Christian McCaffrey is a huge part of this offense's success. They need him to play well for them to be successful. I don't know if the same narrative is true for the New Orleans Saints. They have a lot of different ways they can beat you. So I'm going with Christian McCaffrey in this one.
Reggie Bush not going with Alvin Kamara and the Saints.
No, it's probably the only time I would ever not choose him.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, then it means you're going to be right. Nick Foles, Colleen Wolfe, 1 touchdown to 1 interception on the season. He played 2 games earlier this year. More touchdowns or interceptions for Foles against the Rams?
Don't think about your Twitter.
Listen, I have a lot of Eagles fans that are on my back right now. And everybody get off my back, because what happens when we doubt the Eagles as the media? They do better. Don't you want Eagles fans to everybody? Don't you want everybody to doubt you? Look, it's like the underdog situation. So I'm going with Nick Foles. More interceptions here. I worry about Aaron Donald putting on the heat there against that offensive line. And I worry about that secondary. It's improved now, the Rams, with Aqib Talib back. So I'm going to go with more interceptions for Nick Foles.
Get her.
But
Don't at me, everybody.
Look,
come on. It's a reverse jinx. All right? Remember, everybody, you can check us out. Good Morning Football Weekend coming up tomorrow at 7 a.m. Eastern. That photo is absolutely ridiculous.
Why don't they never promote the Saturday one? I never get to see the Saturday promotion.
You missed the
sorry.
picture on
We're airing grievances here right now.
All right.
Aaron Donald, or Sam Darnold, hoping to air out the ball today. 4 wins as a starter this season. He's hoping to get to win number 5 today.
There's Sam Darnold, who's coming off the first game-winning drive of his career, coming back from injury and beating the Bills in Western New York. Now trying to shock the Texans, lead game of our doubleheader today. Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award, presented by Nationwide, recognizes National Football League players who have not only exhibited excellence on the field, but whose passion to impact lives extends beyond the game and has led them to leave a positive legacy in their communities. Here are this year's nominees from today's home team, the Jets and Broncos, Kelvin Beachum and Von Miller.
Being the New York Jets Walter Payton Man of the Year Award nominee is a huge honor for me. Never saw this coming. To be able to give back to the community in the way that I've been able to do is great, to be nominated. I've been blessed with a phenomenal platform. I don't want to limit myself. I don't want to put myself in a box. When I'm playing football, I'm not just playing football. I'm tackling if I need to tackle. I'm blocking if I need to block. Why can't I do the same thing off the field? As I started to develop and see some of the things that were happening in our society, I started to really gravitate to STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And if you add the arts for those who are artsy, it's STEAM. I've done the annual STEAM camp that I do for the entire city of Mexia. I've done STEM-based tours and brought people that have a STEM focus into that particular school. My grandfather's been blind for over 70 years, taught my dad how to work on cars. Everything that they do every single day is STEAM related. If they have no idea what that acronym means and how powerful it is, what's going on with our younger generation. For me, I wanted to be a part of the solution. And I wanted to make sure that minority individuals, especially kids, had access to STEAM education, and not only for college, but also a career. Every child can go pro in football, but every child can go pro in STEAM.
You know, I mean, I like surprises, just like quarterbacks don't like it when you surprise them and hit them in the back. But I got a little surprise. You are the Broncos nominee for the NFL Walter Payton Man of the Year. So you got it, man. You got it, pal. All right, man.
The Walter Payton Man of the Year award is incredible. Walter Payton is himself, representing greatness and a life that, others admire. Von's vision is providing the gift of sight to kids in need. When I started it back in 2012, I just wanted to put glasses, contacts, and, get eye exams for underprivileged kids. We have Von's Vision Day. We use the Boys and Girls Club to help identify some of these kids that need to get eye exams. It starts with the eye exam, and then it just rolls on from there.
I sat in the back of the room, so I couldn't see the board. I kept getting headaches. And then when I got glasses, it was like everything changed. I could see the board. I stopped having headaches.
It's very important to be able to see in the classroom. I think it's a huge need that kids go get eye exams and get contacts and LASIK surgery or whatever they need to be able to have an even playing field in the classroom.
Just knowing that he actually cares about me getting these glasses, it lets me know that Von has a good heart.
Whenever you put that first pair of frames on a kid's face, it's amazing. And they look at you and they're like, man, I got Von Miller glasses. It's incredible. I want to be the same person that I am with Von's Vision that I am on the football field. I want to make plays on the football field. I want to make plays with Von's Vision. And to be nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award is an incredible achievement.
Stuff. This year's winner will be announced at NFL Honors the night before Super Bowl 53. Now, to learn about all of this year's nominees, visit NFL.com/Man of the Year. Okay, we're slowly working our way through our rundown. Just passing the time until toe meets ball in windy New Jersey on this NFL Network. Week 15 double dip.
Coming up on NFL GameDay Kickoff. After falling to the Raiders,
He slips. The Raiders win.
are the Steelers' postseason hopes slipping away? Meanwhile, as the Texans take on the Jets today, how does the AFC South leader stack up against the other top contenders in the conference? And after surviving the league's stingiest defense on Sunday,
Darnold escapes, fires, it's caught. Incredible play by Darnold.
how will Sam Darnold find success today against J.J. Watt and company? Our experts have the answer when NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by KFC, returns.
Oh, my name. Are you ready? Are you ready?
No. Want more stats? Hey Siri, who has the most touchdowns in football?
Okay, folks, we're getting set for football today. Texans trying to get back in their winning ways. Jets trying to make it 2 in a row. We're taking it right up to kickoff of this game. Then, of course, there's Browns and Broncos later on tonight with some pretty impressive rookie players on offense and defense, and Philip Lindsay is certainly one of them. He's gone from undrafted free agent to Rookie of the Year candidate, evoking memories of a legendary ball carrier who also wore number 30 for the Broncos. Recently, Philip Lindsay shared a meal with James Palmer and the man whose number he boldly asked to wear, Hall of Famer Terrell Davis.
Tasmanian Devil running free. Philip Lindsay continues to make his mark.
You got to love number 30.
The reason there's this connection with you and him, in a sense, is the path.
Terrell Davis has been the big story. One of the best runners coming in the 6th round of the draft.
Do you have similar moments? You didn't have a whole lot of time to decide where you were going to go as an undrafted free agent. John Elway calls you to come play for your hometown Broncos. What do you say to him on the phone?
I was mad. I ain't gonna lie.
Good.
I'm not that good to even be a 7th round pick, and I'll never forget
Mr. Elway was in there, Coach Vance. I said, you guys can mock my words, and I know all y'all are listening. I said, by the end of this, you guys are going to know I'm the starting running back. Hung the phone up.
Go ahead. See, I didn't know all that.
Yeah.
Lindsey standing up into the end zone. Touchdown, Denver.
See, that's what I'm telling you. When you called the confidence, it blew me away because I didn't expect it. I expected to hear somebody kind of humble say, hey, Mr. Davis, can you, can I please? I was expecting that, but it was like, yeah, you know, I watched you growing up, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I'm just thinking, wow, like this number represents something bigger than just me playing it. I said, it really represents the underdog. I see it every Sunday now. I see 30 run down the field, 65-yard touchdown, shaking it. You know what I'm saying? Like that. And then I see my man hitting him up with the salute. Come on, man.
Right, Phillip Lindsay, Baker Mayfield, and a couple of Chubbs, Nick and Bradley, all part of the young players that will be on display between the Browns and the Broncos tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And MJD and Irv, I mean, these two teams still have a shot for that 6th seed in the AFC.
Yeah, if you can call it that, Rich, and this is our segment of M&M. Since I do miss Marshall, I'll take Maurice Jones-Drew. And that, let's get right to it, because we only got 45 seconds each topic here. Now, who will win in the AFC?
Oh, it has to be the Indianapolis Colts. Come on, Irv, let's be honest. Andrew Luck, T.Y. Hilton, Darius Leonard at linebacker, finding ways to win games. You going to Houston after they had a 9-game winning streak? And you beat them in Houston?
They play well.
And you're playing well down the stretch. The Colts are the team I'm scared to play.
And I got both of them, Colts and Ravens, finishing 2-1. But I got the Ravens getting in there. And I'm going to tell you something. I was wrong. I thought about there's no way you can actually win with Lamar Jackson doing what he's doing. I know, I said, you're going to have to make him throw the ball. He's thrown the ball pretty well. Surprisingly, he's thrown the ball pretty well. And I'm going to tell you what I see, MJD. I see a new energy in that team. When you watch them play, they have a new energy. I got the Ravens getting that last spot.
All right, my Raiders, they traded away 2 guys.
Yeah.
Which trade helped the better team? Which one made the better team a contender?
I almost say that John Gruden should get Executive of the Year. Because what executive helped 2 teams jump to the playoffs? John Gruden with the Raiders. And I'm going to tell you, when you start talking about Khalil Mack and Amari Cooper, I got to go Amari Cooper here. Only because Amari Cooper has sealed the deal. In those 6 games he's played, man, this man has put up 180-plus yards. In 2 of those games, he's gone off, turned the Cowboys, not just a division, possible division winner, not just a conference winner. I'm talking a big S and the B, Super Bowl winner.
Oh, really?
With Amari Cooper, as a man told you.
I was confused because I thought I was going to talk about Amari Cooper because you always pick against the Cowboys, so I thought you were going to talk about Khalil Mack. But I'll take Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the reason. The Bears, it has to be quick now. The Bears, before Khalil got there, they were just like, Now they're a Super Bowl contender. Everyone's playing better. Defense is lights out. Got to be Khalil Mack.
The time ring.
Well, you took all the time.
The time did ring. I just want you to know. Okay. Will the Packers make the playoff with the win versus the Bears? Now, remember, they beat the Bears week 1 p.m. That's pre-Mack.
Yeah. So, no, Mack was there because Mack had a couple of sacks in that game and an interception return, but they still beat him. This is my situation.
Right.
I was convinced early in the week that the Packers weren't going to beat the Bears. But I woke up today and I got it's like a ache in my back. Like I was trying to stretch my back out and it didn't work. And you know what it told me? I think the Packers are going to beat the Bears and make the playoffs.
Let me tell you something, man. I think that'll be something. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but I do give them a good chance to beat the Bears because now Mike McCarthy's not there, and it's a prove-it game. You turn around and you beat the Bears, you Aaron Rodgers, you can say, I told y'all we needed to get rid of this man, and now he's gone, we got a shot. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I don't know which way I'm calling that game just yet because I got to study a little bit, but I'll let you know. That's going to be an interesting game. Rich, let's get it back to you.
All right, thanks, guys. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, traveling Texans. New York, have you met the traveling Texans? It's a lot of traveling Texans, I'll be very honest with you. That's a lot of Texans traveling. We'll see if they meet the Texans today. Head on.
Am I stuck in the middle? All right, let's go. Let's have fun today.
You'd like to receive.
Bad decision. They asked for the ball. I take that as a challenge.
Hey, Mayweather, cool the punching in the head, all right?
I have a tough time talking trash if I had 28 yards of total offense.
Did I tell you I was going to get you one? Hell yeah, baby.
I like Drew. I don't like hitting him like that.
Ah! You asked for it, you got it. You asked for it, you got it.
Sports. Chicken. Wait. Sports chicken.
Time for the bucket list, presented by KFC.
Hand off to Dion, runs it through the left side, into the end zone. Patriots are going for two. A lob to Gronkowski, has it.
27-24 New England.
It ain't over, let's go.
52 seconds left. First and goal at the 10.
Throws it for the touchdown to Casey
Unbelievable.
Did he complete the catch all the way?
It's an incomplete pass. What's a catch anymore? We don't know.
We got no timeout. If it's in the field of play, we got to play.
He slips the rush. He throws to the left. The pass is caught in the field of play.
They want to fix Mike.
Not clock, not clock.
I was yelling, clock it.
Give the play, we're not clocking it.
And it came from the sideline, don't clock it, don't clock it.
Third and goal from the 6.
That time you just got to try and make a play, and probably didn't make a good enough throw.
Intercepted.
The Patriots are going to win in Pittsburgh.
All right, and that matchup is going to be a Week 15 this weekend as well, going into the weekend. Right now, the AFC playoff picture, despite losing to the Chargers, the Chiefs win out. They are the 1 seed. If the Chargers win out and the Chiefs split their remaining games, the Chargers are the 1 seed because the Patriots and Texans can't reach the 13-win total, even if they win out. Ian Rappaport joining us right now, live on NFL Network, prior to the Texans taking on the Jets. James Conner's availability is what, best we can tell?
Which I am told James Conner is unlikely to play in tomorrow night's huge matchup against the Patriots. Really not much of a surprise. He's still battling that ankle injury, expected to miss his 2nd straight game. There was a little sign of progress. He did finally get on the practice field. He practiced on Friday and is officially listed as questionable. But from what I'm told, it is expected to be Jalen Samuels and then Stephen Ridley in the Ridley revenge game against the Patriots. A little bit of good news, though. James Conner is expected to be back next week for Pittsburgh.
And that's at New Orleans, so that would be something that they would definitely need. But for the here and now, Ian, thanks very much. We turn to my 2 guys here to the left talking about this game. Good news is they come home. They're in Pittsburgh. We're assuming the X-ray equipment is up to speed, right? It'll be tip-top, 21st century, just in case it's needed. Other than that, give me a good scenario for the Steelers, Irv, to win this game.
Guys, I've been talking all week, all season, basically, about, hey, Steelers need to run the ball better, run the ball better, run the ball better. I'm done with that. There's no need of bamming and hitting that wall anymore. Ben Roethlisberger says no to that. So I'm telling Ben, this is what you wanted. You want to be in there. You want to be in the class with the Tom Brady's. This is your opportunity. Let's step up and show. I put this game on Ben Roethlisberger. I put this game on A.B. Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. You're going up against the master. The master. What does Bill Belichick likes to do? He likes to take away your best weapon. Well, you got 2 weapons. He can't take both of them away. Make sure you put points on the board. And Ben Roethlisberger cannot turn over the ball in the red zone, cannot throw interceptions. He leads the league in red zone interceptions.
The last time Pittsburgh beat the New England Patriots, their defense, they held them to 17 points, and their defense stepped up. Those DBs, you just got to play man-to-man. It's over. Right. I don't want to play any more cover 2, no cover 3. Let me lock up on this cat. We're going to play cat ball. You know what that is. I got this cat, you got that cat. Right. And we're going to run around and play man-to-man. Force Tom Brady to throw in the tight windows and get this thing going. If you do that, you have a great opportunity because you allow your pass rush to get to them and get them frustrated.
And they're first in sacks.
Yeah, so if you have to get there. And with that, your corners have to step up and play. Look, someone's going to have to cover Gronk. That's okay.
You see what you're showing right there, my MJD? What? Those corners are off. They can't play that way. They got to press this. Because if they're off, all Tom Brady's going to do is quick step you, quick drop you, and no matter how good your pass rush is, they'll never get there. You have to press them like Tennessee did, like Jacksonville did, like Detroit did. You got to press them.
And with the Ravens at home against the Bucs, it's entirely possible the Steelers need this to stay in first place in the AFC North. With the Browns also tonight against the Broncos, they could put a little bit of pressure on from their position. Believe it or not, that is a fact. These are things that are happening in the AFC North. Meanwhile, the Patriots come up with a win and the Dolphins lose against Minnesota. It would be an AFC East title for New England, which takes on the Jets to finish up the season. Jets have Whitney Mercilus and the Texans in front of them today, however. Colleen, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Rich. Yeah, let's continue the discussion here about the AFC, because if the Texans win today, they would be one of 5 teams in the NFL with 10 wins this season. But a little bit of a hiccup last week against the Colts. So did that change kind of where you have them ranked in the AFC? How do they stack up in the AFC, the Texans?
It didn't change anything for me, because it's hard winning divisional games. When you're playing against a Colts team that's playing really good football right now, and they have to play them twice a year, those are games that are tough to win. But the Houston Texans have a really good defense. They have a top 5 scoring defense. They're +9 in turnover differential, which is 4th in the NFL. And they have a healthy Deshaun Watson. That's the biggest difference between last year and this year. Deshaun Watson is healthy, and he has good weapons around him. DeAndre Hopkins, arguably the best receiver, one of the best receivers, at least the best hands in NFL right now. And then I just love the mentality of this organization. You lost Will Fuller, and you went out and replaced him with a veteran player like Demaryius Thomas, who's not going to give you the same top-end speed, but he's going to give you leadership, and he's going to give you experience. So I thought the loss by the Colts was a good loss for him at this point.
A good loss. They could also use Kiki Cutie back, too, who didn't make the trip for this game. But I think that Deshaun Watson, he would be even better if he had even more receivers around him. But,
sure.
I mean, that would help if they had a number 3 guy out there. But that defense, it has allowed a lot of passing yards. Almost 400 back-to-back weeks. Jeezy, where do they stack for you?
Well, I want to look at this running game, honestly, because I think that's the difference with this team. And Deshaun Watson factors into that, because we see how teams have to respect him when they run in that read option fake. You've got to respect the fact that he could keep that football. And when I talked to Bill O'Brien this week about their running game, he says, well, you know, we've been effective because we've got a 3-headed running game. We've got Watson, we've got Lamar Miller, and then Alfred Blue chips in. I mean, he's coming up with 30, 40, 50 yards a game. And so that's really tough to stop when you've got multiple guys who are producing. It's not like you're keying in on one guy or one style of running the football. So I really think that's going to be an effective thing for them going forward here.
Yeah, but this defense is good.
Where do you put them in the AFC, though, in terms of a tier? Like, if you have the Chiefs and you have the Chargers and the Patriots, like, where do you...
The A tier minus. They're right below
underneath
there,
the number 1 team.
But they have, I mean, look, they've got a good defense. They can create things up front. We see what a disruptive front can do for a team. They run the football well. They throw the football well. Going back to Demaryius Thomas, they really feel like he and Deshaun Watson are really starting to get on the same page. So that is another, you've got multiple options to pass against, another dangerous thing for them.
But the one thing Deshaun Watson does have to do is he has to protect the football, but also there's times where he's holding on to the football too long, which is eventually ends up in sacks. So he's been sacked way too much recently. I think he's number 2 right now, sacked.
He's been sacked a lot, yeah.
So that has to improve. If they can improve that aspect, if that offensive line can protect him a little more, if I can speak, protect him a little more, then they'll be fine.
He has been protecting the ball better, 3 straight games without a turnover. So we'll see what he does and the rest of the Texans do today against these Jets, Rich.
All right, and there's Sam out there, as you can see. Hey, you blitz him, he doesn't throw it to the other team. I mean, we're scouring the statistics to feel good about it, right?
Don't blitz him then.
JETES.
We don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know who's going to make the play, but we know we're going to find a way to win.
Breaks the tackle, what a run, touchdown, Houston, back at the goal line, he's in! Into the end zone, that's a touchdown, he's in, rock and roll, touchdown, let's go baby, come on!
Oh, yeah, looks like a nice day in the New York metropolitan area. The Hudson River in front of the New York skyline in New Jersey. The Texans taking on the Jets with 47 games left in the regular season.
I'm back against the wall, what we gonna do? We gonna punch or we gonna fall? Let's go!
Caught for a touchdown, oh my goodness. What a play!
That's the kind of
play that just breaks the back of a team. He's in, rock and roll.
Oh, the magic is still there. You better believe it.
Welcome to NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by KFC.
It's been a fascinating year for Sam Darnold. He had that huge Monday night win in Detroit to start the season, then an injury-marred campaign. He came back and he won a game in Western New York last week, his first game-winning drive of his career. But only 4 W's for the Jets on the season, taking on a Texans team that just had a 9-game winning streak broken up, trying to get back on the winning ways. 9-4 on the season coming into this game today. J.J. Watt and the Texans have a shot to wrap up the AFC South with a win today and other results pending from week number 15 that got underway right here on this network and on Fox and on Amazon Prime with a brilliant Thursday night season finale between the Chiefs and the Chargers. We can only hope that Maurice Jones-Drew, Michael Irvin, we see the same here in this game, leading to the Browns and the Broncos later on tonight. The Houston Texans need a big game out of Deshaun Watson today. It's kind of just that simple, as you could see with that loss to the Indianapolis Colts last week. The AFC South is still up for grabs if you include the Titans and the Colts needing some help from the Jets today. The Texans still in a position for a bye week, potentially. The Chiefs win out. They're the 1 seed still. The Chargers win out, and the Chiefs lose one of their last 2. And the Chargers are the 1 seed. The Patriots have a better path to the 1 seed now, thanks to that Chargers win against Kansas City. Deshaun Watson just got mauled by the Colts front 7 last week. Sacked 5 times in that Sunday night game earlier this year, one of the best games of the year against the Cowboys. The Cowboys lit him up as well. He's been getting hit early and often, as you could see. When he's under pressure, you could see the passer rating. It's worse than rookie Josh Allen's.
That's incredible.
Okay, 2 rookies on that list right there.
87-point drop right there.
And the Jets have the 5th highest quarterback pressure rate in the National Football League. They come at you just a little over 29%. How's they going to handle it today, do you think?
Well, you got to run the ball. You have to run the ball with Alfred Blue and Lamar Miller. The Jets right now overall are 27th in run defense. So you want to run the ball and use play action pass to help with that offensive line. Help them to protect. We heard Reggie Bush say that Deshaun Watson, we saw that stat, they get pressured a lot. He gets hit a lot because he likes to hold onto the ball. Run the ball, use that play action pass, and get the ball down the field. That's how you're going to stop that pass rush. I mean, I played against the Indianapolis Colts my whole career with Dwight Freeney, Robert Mathis, and we just ran the ball on them because if you drop back, those guys are going to fly around the edge. Well, the Texans have to understand that as well. You have to run the ball, play action pass, and then get your opportunities like this.
And that gives you the big plays up the field off play action. You can make those big plays. But I believe when you see an 87-point drop, because this passer rating is 120 without pressure. It's 32 with pressure. That's an 87-point drop. I want to stop. I want to make sure he doesn't feel that pressure. I want to get the ball out of his hands quickly. Stop making this man show us that he's the Michael Jordan of the NFL every game. And I love that they're doing some of this now. They're throwing the smoke routes to Demaryius Thomas, getting him. That's that stuff I used to see him do at Denver. You got to get him some against Denver, and they're doing some of this now. That's getting the ball out of his hands real quickly now and alleviating a lot of that pressure. That's what they need to do right there to help Deshaun Watson out today.
And Deshaun can run it in himself, too.
Yes, because the Jets can pressure you. That's the whole problem. It's the Jets can pressure.
So, meanwhile, the Texans have some pretty good guys to put the pressure on the quarterback themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody comes in here, Bush doesn't allow. Nobody. DeAndre, 1, 2, 3.
Here's pressure. The unstoppable J.J. Watt. Clowney sacks him.
He just went through the right tackle.
Clowney has another sack. Rock and roll. J.J. Watt.
They cannot block us. They cannot block us.
Oh, my goodness.
You asked for it. You got it.
And that's how we send things out to Colleen Wolfe in the hangar. I feel like I'm a Jet coming into the hangar right now. We're landing.
Come on in for landing. You've been cleared, Rich. That's great.
Yeah. Put the tray tables up, seat in the upright position. Now we're in the hangar.
I feel like I can memorize it now. Here we are. We've made it. I hope we have a gate at this point. I feel like there's never gates whenever I land somewhere. Okay, so this Texans defense, let's get into them right now. They have so many big names, J.J. Watt, Whitney Merciless, Jadeveon Clowney. But is this a caliber, a defense that is can they go into a place like Kansas City? Can they go on the road in January or maybe play at home, but against these teams and stop these offenses that are so good this year, Reggie?
They can, because they have the top 5 scoring defense. They're ranked 5th against the run. So teams are not chewing up the clock on them. Teams are not chewing up the time of possession on with running the football. Also, they're keeping teams out of the end zone. So that translates into playoff football. That translates into Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt getting pressure on the quarterback, but also they're the biggest reason why they're stopping these runs. And you see right here with Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt getting pressure on the quarterback. J.J. Watt has 12.5 sacks right now. Clowney has 7. They're going to need these guys right now and when they get into the playoffs, because this is when the defense wins games for you. This is the kind of defense that wins championship football for you.
And they stop the run. I mean, 3.6 yards per attempt allowed is second in the NFL right now. And who's the guy on the sideline? Who's the one calling it all? Romeo Crennel. He's been there. He knows what it's all about. He's got a championship pedigree as a coordinator. So as long as you got that guy on the sideline leading the way, in addition to this talent that you've got on the field, you've got all the makings of a playoff caliber and championship caliber defense if you can put it all together.
T.Y. Hilton, though, toasted this secondary last week. Andrew Luck threw for 399 yards. Baker Mayfield threw for 397 yards the week before. And Andrew Luck, too, it's not like he was picking on just one guy on this defense. He was spreading the ball around to 6 different pass catchers on the field, and he was able to methodically get the ball down the field. So that, I feel like, is a little bit of a concern.
But that's where Clowney and J.J. Watt are going to have to be even better than what they are right now, because the secondary is not holding up its end of the bargain these last 2 games. And Sam Darnold could easily have that kind of game today. So they're going to need to rely on J.J. Watt and Clowney and the rest of this defensive front to get pressure on the quarterback even faster than what they've been doing so far.
It sounds crazy, but I've seen defenses be leaky like that early in December and all of a sudden lock it up and everybody comes together. A lot of times by simplifying things. So maybe you've got to simplify things and make sure everybody's on the same page back there.
Look, you get into the playoffs and then it's just like you hit the reset button. So we'll see if the Texans are a team that does that. I think we all do that. It's a brand new season once the playoffs start. Right, Rich?
Okay, I don't know if you're aware, but Sam Darnold's warming up on the field right now for the Jets. There he is. All 3 Jets quarterbacks are active. What that means, Josh McCown. Davis Webb's active. He's up. For all you Davis Webb fans out there, stay tuned maybe, huh? That wouldn't be a good thing for the Jets, I'll be honest.
Coming up on NFL GameDay Kickoff, as Baker Mayfield leads the Browns into Mile High tonight.
Mayfield gonna go for it all. Perriman's out there. Caught it!
Our experts examine the #1 overall pick and how he's changed the culture in Cleveland. Meanwhile, Mayfield's rookie counterpart has taken flight in New York.
Darnold throwing deep ball. He's got Anderson for the touchdown.
How will the Jets build around their new franchise quarterback this offseason? Answers as NFL GameDay Kickoff presented by KFC rolls on.
Oh, my name. Are you ready? Are you ready?
All right, there's Tyrann Mathieu warming up in MetLife right now, controlling the back end of that Texans defense, working together with the front end with Jadeveon Clowney and J.J. Watt and Whitney Merciless, all looking in at Sam Darnold today and a Texans team that's trying to get back to the winning ways. Ian Rappaport joining us right now. All right, Ian, what's the scoop with Carson Wentz? What's going on with him?
Now, earlier today, Carson Wentz, Rich, was officially designated as out for Sunday night's game against the Rams, which we knew, but now it is official. He is dealing with a stress fracture in his back, and Doug Peterson, in a somewhat contentious press conference yesterday, talked about that he now has a 3-month recovery for when Carson Wentz will go back to feeling completely normal. Not that they officially ruled him out for the season. Wentz, of course, has been pushing, wants to be on the field, but in order to get back to feeling normal, that's how long it is going to take for an injury that sounds like has evolved throughout the season. They did several CT scans, only found this little stress fracture recently. Obviously, it would take certainly a interesting sort of events to put Carson Wentz actually back in the field this season.
All right, so we'll see Nick Foles for sure on NBC Sunday night right here in Los Angeles. Joe Flacco is the backup to Lamar Jackson, who was named the starter for the first time with Flacco healthy enough to go. So walk me through how this is going to work.
Well, basically, Lamar Jackson is going to be the starting quarterback, and that's it. And really should not be much of a surprise, but consider when Flacco was the starting quarterback, they did a couple series here, a couple of series there with Lamar Jackson, and they ramped up his participation until, thanks in part to a Flacco injury, he became the starter. But he has not given back this job at all, and I talked to a couple people involved in the situation. I said, maybe we'll see Flacco for a couple series, and what I was told was, don't expect that. So it sounds like it is going to be just Lamar Jackson as a starter going forward.
Shaman PL, and this is the NFL Network. 2 times the games, and I'm 2 ready. Let's go.
Texas Jets, a big game next for Houston to play for the bounce back flex with J.J. Watt, DeAndre Hop. A win might call for the playoff next. You know Deshaun, last name Watson. When he in his zone, no stopping. Pocket passing are the option. Man, it ain't no choice but to watch him. Then you got Broncos, Browns. You know how Denver get down. They playoff dreams above water, but Cleveland looking to make those drown. And Baker Mayfield's contagious, insane and flame. Yeah, that's what his game is. And it just might be another highlight day if he hit the field feeling dangerous. Let's go.
First up, our game that we're taking to kickoff to this, J.J. Watt, three-time defensive player of the year. The only other 3-time defensive player of the year played his football in what's currently the parking lot at MetLife. Lawrence Taylor played in the old Giants Stadium. Browns-Broncos after this one tonight. The Broncos needing a win to get back to 500. The Browns trying to string a winning streak together here to get a 500 and above it, maybe in the playoffs.
And when I woke up this morning, I was feeling pretty dangerous.
Don't be scared. What a throw on the run. Come on, baby. Come on.
4th touchdown pass of the day for Baker Mayfield.
The start of something special right here, man. Let's go. Mayfield with a rocket of 51 yards. Unbelievable. Right on the hand. I woke up feeling dangerous.
All right, so you remember when the Browns fired Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley on the same day and then handed the reins of the offense over to somebody who'd never called a regular season play his entire life for an interim coach who then took to the podium and started talking about all the jobs he turned down without an interview and thought, like, that's never going to work out in Cleveland? Well, it's kind of working out in Cleveland. Greg Williams winning more games than he's lost already as the interim head coach. And Freddie Kitchens, this offense has been something of a revelation. What is going on with the Freddie Kitchens offense there, Irv?
Why we can't give you some credit for building that squad? Y'all don't think that you put that thing together now? And now when the cake was ready, it was baked and ready to be cut into, they said, you can't eat any, get out. And now the Browns are doing pretty well. Let me tell you what I see as the difference here. And I remember talking to Hugh Jackson and Todd Haley during that time when they had Baker Mayfield. They really wanted to cover him and protect him because they've had so many failures at the quarterback position in Cleveland before. And they wanted to protect him. This is just not the kind of guy that you can protect. You got to cut him loose. And that's exactly what the OC is doing right now. They're cutting him loose. They're letting him make quick, decisive throws. What you see, you go with it. We're going to sit down together. You put together what game plan, what do you want to do, what things you like to do, and go and execute them. The other regime tried to hold him back, tried to help him for his own good, but this guy's a fighter. He wants to make those kind of throws where you say, don't. Oh, my God, great throw. That's the kind of guy he is. That's the kind of guy Cleveland needs.
You know, when I first scouted Baker Mayfield, I was a little concerned because he played that Oklahoma offense.
Right.
I think the one thing that Freddie Kitchens has done is brought that Oklahoma offense to Cleveland. A lot of shotgun, spread runs. They're also leaning on the running game. But what he does really well, and that's Baker Mayfield, he improvises. If it's not there right away, he creates time, finds those big plays like he did to Jarvis Landry. Or when he's on time, the ball's where it needs to be, and he's getting there off his back foot. He's shown me a ton in this thing. Now, I wasn't the biggest fan because I didn't appreciate the way he handled Hugh Jackson. I think in this business, a lot of guys get fired. You always have to have respect for those kind of things.
And he's young. He's young
and he'll improve.
He's young.
But the way he's playing right now, and I dare I say it? Should I say it?
What?
he's dangerous, and so are these Browns.
He is.
And they have a chance. If they get in this AFC playoffs and they make it, they sneak in, it may be a problem because their defense
they're not getting in the playoffs. You can stop with that.
No,
but the good thing is, and I'm with you on this, and I believe that's why he handled HOU the way he handled him. That throw you just saw to Jarvis Landry, Hugh Jackson told Haley, no, don't you ever do that again. They would have stopped him.
Right.
Now he has reins to make those throws, and he's completing.
Yeah, look, I mean, he didn't have to say publicly why he gave Hugh the Heisman instead of the hug, but what he did was giving voice to that entire locker room, it seems, or at least a bunch of people that are rallying around him and planting a flag like he is wants to do, and it is working in Cleveland. I mean,
he's taking it anyway and saying to people, either you're with us or you're against us. Nobody really wants to be with Cleveland, but he's making people want to be with Cleveland. I love the kids.
And he's certainly backing up the decision to make him the #1 overall pick with the Jets starting a guy that going into the combine and into the draft, everybody thought would have or should have been the #1 overall pick.
Sam Darnold, his first game since spraining the foot. Darnold up the middle, dives across the 20, and he is slowly walking back to the Jet locker room. So the rookie quarterback is back out of the locker room, and it looks like he is coming back in. Scrambling right, curling back to the left, curls one into the end zone. It's caught, touchdown.
Darnold deep down the field. Anderson with a miraculous catch. Here we go, 4th and goal.
Darnold gives to McGuire. That's a Jet touchdown.
Okay, that's his first comeback win of his career, or his game-winning win of his career. And there's Joe Klecko of the New York Sack Exchange back in the day out there. The New York Jets. It's Sam and Joe right there. Okay, and now Melissa, part of the broadcast team. Kurt Menefee's going to be calling the game with Steve Mariucci and Nate Burleson. And on the sideline right now, Melissa Stark. Melissa?
Yes, Rich Eisen. Hi, you'll love this. Even though the Jets are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, being in their building, being around them this week, you wouldn't have known that. They're still feeding off that excitement of snapping that 6-game losing streak on the road against the Bills. And the fourth quarter heroics that you saw right there from quarterback Sam Darnold, and the future, the hope he provides for the future. They were all running around celebrating like little kids. Sam Darnold was not. He was even, he was cool, he was calm. You sit with him for 5 minutes, you know he's genuine. He's the real deal. That was his first game back in a month after sitting out because of injury. He said he learned so much during those 3 weeks. He realized he could slow everything down, that he was going too fast, that he could take his time. He said his goal now at this point is momentum for next season. And Colleen, he used this word a lot, consistency, to become a more consistent quarterback.
Yeah, that's definitely something that they need to see from him. Yeah. Melissa, thank you so much. Also, she has the coolest jacket, hands down, in this entire stadium today. But let's continue this Sam Darnold discussion. And look, they've had just about a year to evaluate him and his play so far. So do you think that they're confident at this point that they got the pick right?
I know they're confident. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, he's going to pan out. He's going to be
one of the best. The president. He was right here.
And guess what he would have told you? Yeah, I mean, they do feel confident that they got the right guy who is going to be their franchise quarterback. And Melissa just nailed it. That's the thing that I heard this week about Darnold taking that step back. Some people said, is he really hurt? Maybe he just needs that timeout. No, he was hurt. But the upside to that was he took a step back and he realized the speed of the game, just like she was talking about. He also realized the speed of the week leading up to the game. Because remember, he got thrown right into this thing against the Detroit Lions secondary that was completely lost, okay? And things were wide open there, and he thought, okay, this is going to be easy. And then realized, so for him to take that step back just for a couple of weeks and see how Josh McCown handled everything the entire week, they feel like that was huge for him.
I think Josh McCown has been great for him, having a veteran presence like that
in
that locker room, especially for a young guy like Sam Darnold. You can't have enough of that in your locker room of older guys. I had Deuce McAllister my rookie year. If it wasn't for him, I'm not sure how my rookie season and the rest of the years would have gone, because he taught me so much. And a lot of who I became as a player was because of Deuce, having guys like Deuce McAllister, having guys like Drew Brees.
So many people are cynical about that. Like, oh, yeah, this guy, the veteran, is actually going to help the young guy take their job. But I mean, you obviously have experienced it firsthand.
I've experienced it firsthand, and I've been on the other side where I've had to pass down knowledge to guys like Theo Riddick, who's still playing. I did everything I could to help him out as well, and he's been playing great. But the things that I've seen from Sam Darnold are the same things that I saw from him in college. You see some flashes of greatness. You see him look off some safeties. You're like, wow, that looks like, you know, Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or some of these other quarterbacks that do that. Well, then there's the other side, and you see the turnovers, right? And that's where Sam Darnold can be much better, was with protecting the football, because sometimes I believe his athleticism takes over, because he is really athletic, and I think sometimes he relies on that and tries to fit footballs into tight windows and tries to do too much. So today, what Sam Darnold can do is protect the football, but also because you're going against a defense that's given up a ton of yards these last 2 games, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah, he leads the league with 15 interceptions. So the Jets, they will have a lot to build around in the offseason. But will Todd Bowles be here for everything next season? Jeezy, I'm just going to get to the point.
This is winding down, and if Todd Bowles is watching us now, which he shouldn't be, he should be getting ready for the game, he wouldn't be surprised by me hearing that. I mean, I gather that he understands that this thing is winding down right here. One of the things he did want to do was end on a high note for Sam Darnold, so he's got a lot of integrity, Todd Bowles does, in wanting to do that for this franchise and for Darnold. If Mike McCarthy decides that he wants to jump right into a coaching gig, this could be a landing spot for him. If he's not at the top of the Jets list, I am told that he is very high up there. They love the work that he did with the Green Bay Packers offensively. I know some people have been down on him recently, but he didn't forget how to coach, so he could be a possibility here. And I do know that they want to go big game hunting when it comes to their next head coach. That would be one. A former Super Bowl winning guy, winning coach. Now, he may want to take a year off and relax and step back and then jump back in a little bit later, but you know what? Having this little time off right now might be enough for him to say, nah, all right, had a little rest, ready to go, ready to jump back in. And if so, the Jets will be interested in talking to him at the very least.
Well, that's a really interesting candidate. So what do you guys think out there, Rich? I know that you guys are interested in this.
Well, I mean, Todd Bowles is a guy who's just a few exits down from that stadium in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And when he was hired, and being a local guy, it was obviously a feel-good hire, and a guy who was coming off of the staff in Arizona. It just hasn't worked out. It just has not worked out. And it's interesting that today it's the Texans who are in the house right now that could essentially, you know, with a win, send what Mike is saying is a foregone conclusion even more into all of that, because the Jets could have traded up for Deshaun Watson in 2017. They chose Jamal Adams with their first overall selection right at the top. They could have done
a good pick too, Rich.
Well, no, hold on a minute. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is what they could have done what the Houston Texans did, which is take a second-round pick in that year's draft and their following year's first-rounder and gotten back up and then gotten dogs on both sides of the football.
You're right.
Okay, alpha males on both sides of the football. Instead, they went Marcus May, another safety, and then kept with their draft choice and got Sam Darnold, who could be the answer when it's all said and done. But it's just an interesting dichotomy to see that today with the Texans in the house and Deshaun Watson for Houston.
Yeah, when I look at this, and I want the Jets, whoever your head coach is, make sure that you guys go after and do what the Rams and the Bears did. Go out this offseason, go get some go spend some money. Le'Veon Bell's out there. That'll help your quarterback. Forget your offensive line. Build around this young guy offensively, and then allow him to go out there and make plays and be creative. We heard what Reggie Bush said. You know, what you are on Saturdays, 99% of the times what you will be on Sundays. You're going to have some flashes from Sam Darnold, but you're also going to have some miscues where he tries to fit the ball into some tight areas. But with that being said, if you go get some playmakers for him, those splash plays that we see will be more consistent.
I don't necessarily subscribe to it, but I'll say it when everybody talks about the running back is the best asset for a quarterback.
No question.
I think a great receiver he is, because since he's throwing the ball. But a good run game will help. And Le'Veon Bell is out there. You have all that money. You go get him right now. Takes a lot of pressure off of him.
Well, you know, Darnold's last home game on a Saturday was against UCLA.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. Should we clap it?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. U. C.
Well, it's now J-E-T-S. Nice.
Fight.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by KFC's new chicken and waffles, the most delicious union of all time. Available for a limited time.
City so nice they named it twice. New York. Across the Hudson River. In New Jersey, Texans and Jets kicking off the NFL Network Week 15 Saturday doubleheader.
Let's put on a show today. Let's put on a damn show.
Walks into the end zone. Touchdown.
Keep going, O. Keep going.
Watt trips him up for a sack. Up in the air. It's intercepted. For the corner. He's in. It's caught. Touchdown.
Welcome to NFL GameDay Kickoff, delivered by Pizza Hut.
All right. Where you been? We've been on the air for 90 minutes already. Hour till kickoff.
really?
We've been showing you J.J. Watt and Sam Darnold for an hour and a half. Maurice Jones, Drew, Michael Irvin. Did you guys ever get on the field early on nationally televised games to be shot warming up to get extra airtime?
Well, you come to Jacksonville, you say, talk before.
Yeah.
The fake warm-up stuff,
I know, but you ever get out there knowing, hey, I'm going to get on TV a little bit more. Get ready, warm it up.
Why not?
I mean, Sam Darnold's kind of a veteran move out of Sam Darnold, be getting out there. Get out there early. All right, so welcome to NFL GameDay Kickoff, presented by our friends at Pizza Hut. My name's Rich Eisen. That's Maurice Jones-Drew. That's Pro Football Hall of Famer Michael Irvin. If you missed the first 90 minutes, Michael's already talked up the Colts prior to the game against the Cowboys tomorrow. He's already front-loading his opinions about how good the Colts are,
well.
hoping to talk them up the Lou Holtz style to kind of forget about the fact that we need to win this football game. That's going to be later on game day morning tomorrow as well. So the AFC playoff picture. Look, Chiefs fans are all upset about the way the game ended on Thursday night. That's understandable. It was a 15-point unanswered string of points for the Chargers. But the Chiefs win out. They're still the 1 seed. They've got the old destiny control right there. If they slip up at Seattle or home against the Raiders to finish up, and the Chargers sweep their final 2 games, home against the Ravens at Denver, then the Chargers are the 1 seed. Should the Chiefs and Chargers split their remaining games and the Patriots win out and they're all 12-4, guess who's the 1 seed?
No.
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. And now the Texans obviously need a little extra help and win out as well. If they want to be a 1 seed, they're in the mix for a bye week. Where do you think they stand amongst, however, these 4 teams that we're looking at? And you could throw the Steelers in too if you wish. You got 3 division leaders in a wild card team that's vying for a 1 seed right now. What do you think?
Yeah, for me, they're 4th. And it really, it's just how they played. I mean, they went on a great 9-game winning streak, but when you lose at home late in the season, that hurts a lot, right? You want to win at home. You want to protect your home dirt, what some coaches say, but to see the way the Chargers have been playing over the last couple of weeks, to see the way the Chiefs have been able to adapt and play and try to eke out games and fight games and win games. And then really, at the end of the day, the Patriots are the Patriots. You can't really say they're done, right? It takes a miracle in Miami to beat them. It is what it is. So I had them in that 4th seed, but at the end of the day, as long as you get into the dance, you always have a chance to make things happen. And so for them being the 4th team to me doesn't mean much of anything. As long as you get in there and you play well, you'll be fine.
And I have them at that 3rd seed. And I say the 3rd seed right behind Kansas City in New England with a chance to beat any one of those teams that are ahead of them because they match up well with those teams when you think about it. The Kansas City Chiefs beat you with big plays. Well, the Texans defense, that's their 3rd against big plays. They're pretty good at defending the big play. And what do you do to beat Bill Belichick and to beat Tom Brady? You got to get pressure on Tom Brady. They have all the guys that can get pressure on Tom Brady. Things got to fall right. I got them 3rd right now, but they still have a chance to beat any one of them teams in front of them.
And obviously taking a step to remaining the 3rd or maybe being 1 or 2 is a win against the Jets coming up in just an hour's time. We're going to take you to kickoff of that game. But the Texans are coming off their first loss since week 3 because the Colts went in and hit Deshaun Watson and sacked him 5 times and made sure DeAndre Hopkins didn't get any yards. The Texans defense, however, looked porous. Andrew Luck lit him up. T.Y. Hilton just absolutely loves playing in Houston. 199 yards receiving for him alone, and that's how we send things out to MetLife Stadium. Colleen Wolfe has been hanging in the hangar all day long. Colleen?
Yeah, Rich, we're about to take off from the hangar after this to get down to the field, but I'm here with Reggie Bush and Mike Garafolo. And look, I thought that the Texans were going to win their 10th straight game last week, but they didn't. So, Reggie, did that loss by them affect the way that you feel about the Texans at all?
It didn't. It didn't change anything that I thought about them. That was a good loss for them. I know sometimes people hear me say, well, what's a good loss? There's no such thing as a good loss.
Right.
In 2009, we were 13-0 We lost at home to the Dallas Cowboys. We lost the next game at home to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then we ended up losing. We didn't play the third game. We didn't play our starters because we had the #1 seed sewed up. We went on to win the Super Bowl that year. We got hot in the playoffs. We had to refocus a little bit. Those losses were good for us. They came at the right time. They came just about this same exact time during the season. So there are such things as good losses, especially for a team that was on a 9-0 run. This was a good loss for him to refocus. Now it's to get back on track game for him. But, yeah, we lost that first game to the Cowboys. So for Irv, you hear that, right? We lost to the Cowboys. We were 13-0, their first loss, and then we won the Super Bowl.
The difference is
speaking it into existence right now.
The difference is you could afford them with regard to the #1 seed or the bye. The Texans didn't have that luxury. So it's not a good loss necessarily in their minds. It's how do we respond to that?
Exactly.
And in talking to Bill O'Brien this week, he told me that the focus at practice, they had their best week of practice. Bart Scott was with us earlier. He said that's the coaches. He said that's the kiss of death. So he said, let me take the Jets now. So that's all you can do, though, at this point, and he did like what he saw.
Well, the Texans, they allowed 436 total yards to the Colts. If you look at what the Colts did in that game on 4 straight drives, touchdown, touchdown, field goal, touchdown. I mean, this is supposed to be a really good
right?
Texans. That's really bad. It's supposed to be a really good Texans. Exactly. It's really good for the Colts. But, yeah, this will be something to watch today, especially with this defense giving up so many passing yards in back-to-back games. Rich, we'll be watching that for sure.
Okay. It's what's going on in MetLife Stadium. Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold, 3rd overall selection in this year's draft. He's played 2 nationally televised games. You beat the Lions in week 1, and then Baker Mayfield came off the bench against him in week 3.
NFL Game Day Kickoff is delivered by Pizza Hut. Step up game day with Pizza Hut's $5 lineup. Pizza, wings, pasta, Cinnabon mini rolls, and more. NFL Game Day Kickoff is brought to you by Verizon. The best unlimited is on Verizon, America's most awarded network.
All right, there's Deshaun Watson coming to the field at MetLife. You can see he scores or throws one in every single game, it seems. 20 straight games of passing a rushing touchdown. Time to highlight the captains of delivery presented by Pizza Hut. How does he get his wide receivers not named DeAndre Hopkins involved today? Irv, what do you think?
Right, and for the Texans, this is a great game as they prepare to get ready for a playoff run. I'm telling you, and I tell you why. They've had problems. Deshaun Watson's had problems when pressured, and the Jets are going to pressure you. So take this game and prepare your team for the run by making sure you work on getting the ball out of his hands quickly, getting Demaryius Thomas and those other guys involved. A lot of time, he's so great, DeAndre Hopkins so great, so we spend so much time holding on to the ball, trying to get him throws. And that's how Deshaun Watson gets sacks. He's second in the league, only second to Dak Prescott, who I'm not happy about also on that other end, and taking sacks. Let's do some of this. Just get the ball out of his hands real quickly, see how it works here, put a game plan in here that you'll use the rest of this season and in the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to get the ball to DeAndre Hopkins early. I think you get into him early, get everybody focused on him, then you're able to spread the ball out to everyone else. That's how you get the ball to everyone else. Feed the guy that you need to feed. They used to feed you, right?
Yeah, they had to feed me. They had to feed me. I know nobody else can eat till I eat.
So as soon as this game's done, we've got another one for you. Mike Tirico and Kurt Warner on the call from Denver, Colorado. There it is. Broncos trying to get back to 500 after a loss in San Francisco ended their win streak at 3. And then there's the Cleveland Browns and Baker Mayfield coming to town. Week 15 in the National Football League, and the Browns are, in fact, in the playoff hunt. Not something football fans, particularly Brown fans, are used to hearing. Tonight, the loser of the Browns-Broncos games are going to see their playoff hopes dwindle to next to nothing, while the winner, different story. We caught up with the #1 overall pick and Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield to see if he and the team are up to the challenge and or feeling dangerous.
If somebody had never seen you play before, how would you describe what Baker Mayfield does on the field?
Here's Mayfield back to pass. Baker looking. Baker throwing. It's called touchdown! Baker Mayfield is on fire! I woke up feeling dangerous.
Energetic,
Ball,
passionate, and I think it's controlled chaos. You know, I can say screw it of what has happened before, good or bad, and then play the next play.
Well, one thing we know, there's no quitting Baker. Your productivity's off the charts since the coaching change. What has Freddie Kitchens unlocked in you?
Getting my eyes in the right spot. You know, we talk through the game plan, what I'm comfortable with in his experience in coaching quarterbacks and being with, you know, Drew Stanton's a guy that he had in Arizona.
Thanks, Drew!
And also he's got another assistant, Ryan Lindley, that they're here now. And being able to pick their brains on how Freddie's calling plays, what he wants to call, and why we're calling it. So communication, but then getting my eyes in the right spot and then just executing.
Caught it in the end zone! Touchdown!
You know, you always heard when you were in Norman, the players love Baker. Get to Cleveland, players love Baker. Why do your teammates love you so much?
I take a bullet for them. Obviously, I'm going to do everything I can to put us in a great position to win, but I have to let them know that they can trust me no matter what the scenario is. Winning, losing, I'll be that same person that gives it 110% effort. Once that standard's apparent, then you get to know people on a different level. You get to mess around with them. You get to toy with them about stuff off the field just to get guys to have fun with it again.
I mean, we're used to seeing him on Saturday nights, right? All those games in Oklahoma, Saturday night games. Now here he is in the National Football League. And the Browns at 5-7-1. This is no joke. I mean, this is not, hey, tune in to watch a game type stuff against the Broncos. Winner of this game, Broncos go to 7-7 with 2 games to go in the mix. And if the Browns win this game, they're 6-7-1. If the Steelers wind up losing to New England, that's just a game in front of Cleveland in the division that we'll see what the Ravens look like after they play the Bucs. This is a big game for both teams. What do you think Baker Mayfield is this game plan for him against the Broncos tonight?
Well, when you talk about the Broncos defense and Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, Derek Wolfe, they have 3 guys, Shane Ray, 4 guys who can get to the quarterback at any given time. My thing is you have to get the ball out quick. Start the game off with some runs, quick passes, and then as the game wears on and you start to wear down this pass rush, run the ball at them, having them run sideline to sideline, take your shots then. Baker Mayfield does a great job on these timing routes, these skinny posts, inside slants, inside breaking routes. Sometimes he's on the outside breaking route. And then when you want him to be dangerous, and you know, because he always wakes up feeling dangerous, you want him to go out there and take that shot, you take that shot because the secondary is banged up here for the Denver Broncos.
Y'all won't let that man let that down. You have to live with that forever. Once you say something one time around the NFL, it is a great line. Now, but as long as he's dangerous for 2 teams and not dangerous to his own team, then it's a great line. And he cannot hold on to the ball in this game. These dudes will come around the corner, and not only do they create sacks, they create turnovers, and that's how the Cleveland Browns lose this game. He has to get the ball out of his hands to keep this team in.
Yeah, Browns took Denzel Ward 4th overall. He's not in the game tonight. They took him instead of Bradley Chubb, who's got 12.5 sacks, and Myles Garrett was talking about we didn't need Bradley Chubb. I mean, there's a lot of chatter that's been going back and forth between both teams coming into tonight. And then there's Nick Chubb. There's Nick Chubb as well, the Baker, the guy who was part of the team that beat Baker Mayfield in last year's Rose Bowl. Now they're teammates. That's a big game. I'm fired up for that one tonight. We're taking you to kick off again tonight of this game. The Texans and the New York Jets. Deshaun Watson getting all warmed up and ready.
Much more to come on NFL Game Day Kickoff. But first, get ready for Aquaman. In theaters everywhere December 21st. Home is calling.
Hey, buddy, you that...
Much more to come on NFL Game Day Kickoff. But first, get ready for Aquaman. In theaters everywhere December 21st. Home is calling.
Get ready for kickoff Sunday at 9 a.m. with NFL Game Day Morning. The Steelers and Patriots are coming off devastating losses. Juju Smith-Schuster sits down to explain what's on the line when these teams meet on Sunday.
This game is going to be one of the games of the year.
And Amari Cooper has carried the Cowboys to 5 straight wins. Kurt Warner explains why their luck may run out this week in Indy. Plus, Chicago can lock up the NFC North, but Aaron Rodgers is standing in their way.
Close middle, got us there! He may go all the way! Touchdown!
Our guys will let you know how the Packers can beat the Bears and get back in the playoff picture. It all starts Sunday at 7 a.m. with Good Morning Football Weekend, followed by Game Day Morning at 9.
Okay, it's just going to be a fun Week 15. So many playoff scenarios, so many teams trying to win it in. They're playing baseball with the pylon, trying to stay loose, getting ready. Oh, let's see. Let's see the warm-up, the throw. Oh, that's not a bad hit with the pylon right there. All right, Melissa Stark, take it. Melissa, have you ever done sidelines at a baseball game before? Is that a first for you, maybe?
Well, I don't know. I'm just happy to be back on the sidelines, Rich. And this is the Texans, the first time that they've had to bounce back from a loss since September. They are definitely not overlooking these Jets. They're not looking ahead to the Eagles game or that Jaguars game. J.J. Watt telling me the goal right now, win one. That was the goal when they started the season 0-3. That's the goal now. He said, we were really humbled by the loss last week, and that everybody kind of looked around and said, am I really as good as I think I am? They hit the reset button. He said they killed all of their workouts and that everything was really crisp. Head coach Bill O'Brien saying, you know, we went on this 9-game winning streak, but we haven't clinched anything. So we haven't really done anything. And quarterback Deshaun Watson saying the Colts game was supposed to be our statement game. And so today, he said, frankly, we want to come out and kick the Jets, you know what. And I have to point out this weather for a mid-December game. It's downright balmy. It's almost 50 degrees, and Deshaun Watson, he said he hates the cold, so he's definitely loving this.
Bud Light presents Bud Light's Nights.
All right, there's Deshaun Watson out there on the field. As you could see, he's got a franchise record for most consecutive games, the passing touchdown, tossing, rushing touchdowns as well. He's done it in 20 straight games.
That's incredible right there, though, man. You talk about 18 straight games, man. He's just been incredible as a young man coming on to the Houston Texans. And Dabo Swinney told everybody he's the Michael Jordan. And I'm telling you, MJD, he plays like the Michael Jordan of football. He makes incredible plays for the Houston Texans.
Not only with his arm, but with his legs as well. I mean, running the ball is where he's dangerous. And he doesn't run to run. He runs to throw. He tries to look to throw the ball downfield, and if it's not there, he's able to use his speed and his ability. Now, I was a hater. I wasn't a big fan of him coming out of Clemson, but I tell you what, after what he did last year, what he's doing this year, you got a fan in me.
Rich, you remember we saw him that Thursday night when they finally put him on the field, and he just took off.
Well, he ran one in from midfield, and it was a short week on the road in Cincinnati. All his tight ends were concussed. He had linemen playing tight end. Yeah. He needed to win that game with his legs, and he did. There's Lamar Miller.
Speaking about somebody running one in.
There you go. Right.
He has a couple 90-yarders. Did you ever get a 90-yarder?
No. I think my longest is 80.
Did they catch
I still had
you?
the gas. No. They didn't catch me. I had the gas. I used to train with Lamar Miller, though, and training with him, our trainer used to always tell us, like, he's fast. I was like, put him on the line, let's see. Well, then after, 10, 15 yards, I saw.
Well, that's the future of the Jets right there, along with Sam Darnold, obviously. There's a C on his chest in just his second season for a reason. Jamal Adams is an alpha male of the first variety, a culture changer, and as somebody that you could see a ton of energy. People follow him. Fans love him. He is the real deal. The question is, can he, along with Darnold and everybody else who they might be able to get around them, lead the Jets on some form of a resurgence and challenge the Patriots before Tom Brady does retire, or maybe become the dominant team in the division once Brady does step away? I mean, that's what we're talking about for the Jets from here on out, right?
Yeah, it does my heart good to see Jamal Adams. I watched him ever since he was 5 years old playing football, and see him in New York and just being loved like he's loved. And to have him on defense and this young man right here on offense who's got four wins this season, tied most for rookies. It's just an incredible start for the Jets franchise.
And there's Devian Clowney coming out. He's the one that, along with J.J. Watt, will be gunning for Sam Darnold today.
Yeah, he owes us one, guys. You jumped off sides last week and in the game, so now you owe us one. That's something that you talk in the locker room. I mean, we've all had those situations.
That's how you talk to him. Let's go, big boy. Let's get some sacks today.
Now you owe me. I need 2 or 3 sacks today.
Let's go and get that going on. And I got to get it. Let's talk about the man, because I'm so happy. We've had bust on his name when that first year, and he's got from under that. He's playing well with this guy right here, J.J. Watt, right here. Jadeveon Clowney has 7 sacks. This man right here, 12.5 sacks right now, 4 in the NFL.
Yeah, and his bust we're talking about is Canton. That's the type of bust that we're talking about for him right now. So J.J. Watt is warming up there in New Jersey. The Jets trying to hand the Texans a second consecutive loss, keeping that division open for the Titans and the Colts to make a run. And DeAndre Hopkins, it's a fantasy football playoff Saturday with all of these names out there. Still more football conversation to come.
Thank you for watching NFL Game Day Kickoff, delivered by Pizza Hut, official pizza sponsor of the NFL. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
It's an NFL Network Saturday special. The game's next generation of stars take center stage.
He's got a Denver touchdown.
Baker and the Browns looking to finish strong.
Baker fires, touchdown.
Meet Chubb and the Broncos.
Bradley Chubb has got sack number 3.
Saturday is NFL Saturday. Tonight at 8, only on NFL Network.
Hey, watch that.
It's a Saturday.
Ah, yes, the New York skyline, that Chrysler building, man, I love it. It's the one on the right there, MJD. I know you're a California kid. That's the Chrysler building on the right. Okay. That's Empire State Building in the middle. It's the Hudson River. And we've got the New Jersey MetLife, Texans Jets coming up.
Into the end zone. That's a touchdown.
Touchdown.
And sacked.
Keeping the hammer down.
You asked for it, you got it.
Welcome to NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by eBay.
Deshaun Watson, Houston Texan quarterback, fresh off of a bruising loss at home to the Indianapolis Colts. Their 9-game win streak is gone. Trying to start another one today. If they beat the Jets and the Colts and Titans lose tomorrow, then they are the AFC South champions. There's J.J. Watt trying to make that a reality starting today by putting Sam Darnold on the turf in MetLife Stadium to kick off an NFL Network Week 15 Saturday doubleheader. I'm Rich Eisen, joined by Maurice Jones-Drew and Michael Irvin. Game 1 of Week 15 went down on Thursday night. Chiefs and Chargers. Chiefs fans licking their wounds after Phillip Rivers, that Energizer bunny of a quarterback, put 15 unanswered on the Chiefs with less than 4 minutes to go on the clock to come out with the win. Chiefs still the 1 seed going into today's action, and if they win out, they're the 1 seed going into January. But should they trip up and lose 1 game over the last 2 and the Chargers win out, then the Chargers can be the 1 seed. If they both split their remaining games and the Patriots win out, then the Patriots are the 1 seed. And even if the Texans, Patriots, Chiefs, and Chargers all finish 12-4, the Patriots are the 1 seed. Maurice Jones-Drew, what are you looking forward to today?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the Texans bounce back after that loss, and specifically that defense. J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, you guys get to the quarterback and force this young player, this young Jet quarterback, SC Trojan, don't like him too much, but he's been playing well, to really turn the ball over and throw it to your DBs. Help your defensive backs out who struggled last week. It's going to be on the defensive line to apply pressure, stop the run, and force this young man to throw into tight windows.
And let's be real. That's what we're talking about right now. What are you doing to prepare for the playoffs? We just talked about it. I said the Jets are the Texans to be the 3rd best team in the AFC. You lost the game that you should have won last week. I know you think that. And J.J. Watt said it. It's about how do we respond now. And we want to come out and kick their blank. That's what he told Melissa. That's what I want to see tonight. I want to see if you can do just that. And if I'm in that locker room, that's all I'm talking to my guys about.
Let's go to MetLife right now on the field, out of the hangar, now on the turf. Colleen Wolfe, take it away.
Thank you, thank you. All right, we've been talking about Sam Darnold in this show, but I want to know, how does he have success against the Texans defense today?
Well, I think it starts with 3rd down, right? The Texans defense is ranked 16th. They're in the middle of the pack on 3rd down. That's where Sam Darnold can have success, keeping drives alive, keeping his offense on the football field. And then also, last 2 games, they've gotten carved up. That secondary's gotten carved up 350 yards or more in the last 2 games. that is where Sam Darnold can have success today.
He converted some third downs against the Bills. The other thing is take the checkdowns when they're there. So many rookie quarterbacks, they think taking the check down is a failure. No, at this level, it's got to be what the defense gives you. That's something that he learned by watching Josh McCown when he was
running backs like checkdowns.
That's
running backs
true.
like checkdowns.
Look, he is without his leading receiver. He's out without his leading rusher as well. So you know what? How about get Chris Herndon involved, the tight end right there, because this Texans defense struggles against tight ends. So that could be a guy to watch out for today.
Herndon is one of the guys that this Jets team, this Jets front office really feels like has done a nice job, and some of that talent that maybe we're not giving them enough credit for. They think that he's got a real bright future here.
So all of that, plus just get the ball out quick. I mean, that always helps when you have a pass rush like the Texans coming at you. Guys, we're going to send it back to you. We'll be back, though, with more from the field.
All right, thanks very much, Colleen. So, again, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt. The only other such player in the history of the NFL. Lawrence Taylor played in what's now currently the MetLife parking lot. Somewhere beneath all of that is Jimmy Hoffa, apparently.
Does he have the Walter Payton Man of the Year?
NFL Game Day Kickoff is presented by eBay. If it's happening this season, it's happening on eBay.
All right, see the end zones? They're just diagonal lines because the Giants are playing there tomorrow. They can't turn it around and take Jets off and Giants on fast. Turn around.
Good information.
So there you go. Hey, look, man, I'm all over the line end zone kerfuffle.
Why is it like that?
There you go.
Those why is it like that?
Sam Darnold's cleats, which is bringing light to a charity trying to prevent childhood cancer. My gosh. Well, good for you, Sam Darnold. Okay, now let's send matters over to the gentleman calling the game. Nate Burleson, Steve Mariucci, and Kurt Menefee. Kurt, take it away.
Yes, it is the answer to how many studio guys does it take to call one football game live. We are here getting ready for Houston and the Jets. You boys excited for this?
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait, man. This will be fun. You know, you take a look at these two franchises. This is a quarterback-driven league, Coach.
Yeah, it is.
I think both these teams think they've got their quarterback situation settled for years to come.
Kurt, our league is in real good shape with young quarterbacks coming up, right, Nate?
Yep.
But today we're going to see two of them. Deshaun Watson from the Houston Texans. He started last year as a rookie. And then he got hurt. He was terrific. But when we spoke to him last night, he said, I felt like a rookie all over again. But you know what? After winning the last 9 out of 10 games, he has become the leader of this offense in Houston. And on the other side, the Jets traded up. We went all the way up to number 3 to get the kid from USC, Sam Darnold. And you know what? He's the youngest guy ever to start day 1 in this league. Yeah. Last week against the Bills, he got his first come-from-behind win against the Bills. He's going to be the franchise of this organization.
Yeah. And guys, for me, this game is about pressure. It's about pressure. The Deshaun Watson and Texans, the pressure that the playoffs are around the corner. And then for Sam Darnold, it's a little bit more literal. J.J. Watt, he's going to be bringing pressure all game long. And he's one of the best in the business. I want to remind you, when you watch him rush the passer, this is a master at work. I mean, he can do it all. He can go through you. He can go around you. He can switch it up and spin off of you and get to the quarterback. And not to mention, he has guys with him that are going to benefit off of his double teams this game.
And this game matters. For the Texans, with a win, they can wrap up the AFC South simply by sitting home and watching television tomorrow and seeing what happens with Indianapolis and Tennessee. Rich?
Look forward to it. And by the way, I mean, 3 studio guys in a booth calling a game. That's child's play. Please.
That's not.
Try one more, and then we'll see, right? In London, no less. Look forward to the call. Coming up on NFL Network.
It was the night before. Get ready for kickoff Sunday at 9 a.m. with NFL Game Day Morning. The Steelers and Patriots are coming off devastating losses. Juju Smith-Schuster sits down to explain what's on the line when these teams meet on Sunday.
This game is going to be one of the games of the year.
And Amari Cooper has carried the Cowboys to 5 straight wins. Kurt Warner explains why their luck may run out this week in Indy. Plus, Chicago can lock up the NFC North, but Aaron Rodgers is standing in their way.
Close, middle, got us there! He may go all the way! Touchdown!
Our guys will let you know how the Packers can beat the Bears and get back in the playoff picture. It all starts Sunday at 7 a.m. with Good Morning Football Weekend, followed by Game Day Morning at 9.
All right, that'll be tomorrow. DeAndre Hopkins, though, is about today. And man, oh man, we'll have our eyes peeled to see if we get any more Hopkins magic like we've seen in recent days.
That's exactly what Hopkins is about. He makes a one-handed catch.
Oh, my goodness. Did he catch that? That's the touchdown catch of the year.
Hopkins with a one-handed grab.
That's sick.
He's got unbelievable hands.
Going above the rim for that former college basketball player.
A wrestling match won by DeAndre Hopkins. Toe tapper, yes! He had both feet clearly in and had control.
This guy's really good.
And to me, the catch of the year was the one against Dallas in overtime, where he caught it and he just whirled his way and beasted his way all the way into field goal range.
It's a perfect one, Rich. That was a perfect one.
So how do they get back together on the same page here, Watson and Hopkins? It's been a couple weeks.
What we talked about, the Jets, they know how to bring pressure. That means Deshaun Watson, get the ball out of your hands quickly, like he did in that game against Dallas when he talked through that quick under route, and you watch DeAndre Hopkins whirl his way around as he goes down the field. This man is great at run after catch. They're going to put some highlights up against the Cowboys.
Yes, they are.
I'm talking about
the game.
Right, that's perfect. But he's great with run after catch. And the Jets are going to bring pressure. It fits perfectly. 9 times this year, he's faced a traveling corner. That's most in the NFL. Only one time did Tremaine Johnson follow any receiver around. That was week 12 against Josh Gordon. It'll be interesting to see what the Jets do today. Do they leave Tremaine on one side and Maurice Claiborne on the other, or do they follow him?
You know, for me, it starts in practice, right? You have to get back on the same page in practice, getting those routine passes going, calling and designing plays for him to get open. And then he's a volume guy. Don't you have to continue to target him as he gets going? It may be a double coverage or a batted pass or a ball out of bounds, but later in the game, he gets more comfortable and he uses those, you know, I think he has triple XL gloves that he wears that he's able to snatch the ball with. Volume, volume, volume. Feed him early, feed him often, and then you'll get back on track.
What's always interesting to me, though, is you know, I think about the Patriots, and that's where Coach came from, the Patriots. And I don't see them do a lot of the rub routes and stuff that the Patriots do. Right. I know they got great receivers, the Texans. They got great receivers, and they basically tell them, go beat your man.
That's right.
Don't worry about us helping you beat your man. Go beat your man. It may be time for them to add that element to their game as they get ready to go into the playoffs.
Speaking of element, just 51 degrees right now. So it's not a brutal winter frigid day, and it's been really cold in the Northeast the last few days. So maybe the weather gods on the side of the Houston Texans today. Obviously, same for the Jets as well. We're going to pick this game and kick it off when we come back.
Am I stuck in the middle? All right, let's go. Let's have fun today.
You'd like to receive.
Bad decision.
They asked for the ball. I take that as a challenge. Hey, Mayweather, cool the punching in the head, all right? I have a tough time talking trash if I had 28 yards of total offense. Ah! Did I tell you I was going to get you one? Hell yeah, baby. I like Drew. I don't like hitting him like that. You asked for it, you got it. You asked for it, you got it.
You know, we woke up dangerous today, too. There's 2 games. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I got to stop saying that because I don't want it to get too tired. It's such a great phrase, you know? Broncos-Browns, 8 p.m. Eastern. Be there, be square. It's going to be lit, as the kids say. It's going to be fun after this one as well. Taking you to kickoff moments away. Sam Darnold trying to beat the Texans and Deshaun Watson, who the Jets could have drafted the year before. Instead, they didn't trade back into the first round, held on to their first-round selection for the following year, and took Darnold. Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson was the guy taken by the Texans, who really didn't miss their first-round selection this year. Went to the Browns, Denzel Ward instead of Bradley Chubb. That's another subplot for tonight's nightcap. But the Texans really didn't miss it. They're potentially just this win and some other results away from snapping up that division.
Yeah, Sam, just take care of the football. Today, if you take care of the football, Rich, I think you'll be happy. They have an opportunity there. But if you turn the ball over and get back to this explosive offense, it's going to be tough to win a game at home here in the Big Apple.
I would be happy.
Yeah, I mean,
as a possible win.
Yeah, possibility.
I don't know. Interceptions so far this season, it's most in the NFL. But whatever happens here, guys, Rich and all of those Jet fans, you found your quarterback. You found your quarterback. Even this losing is losing with game because every snap he gets more and more knowledge, and you're going to benefit from that knowledge that he gains sooner or later.
The flag snapping outside of MetLife. Let's talk about who's winning today, presented by eBay. Mike Garofalo, take it away.
Thank you, Rich. Colleen Wolf and Reggie Bush here with me. We've been talking about this game since 9 a.m., Colleen. So the moment of truth started off. What you got here?
Okay, I'm taking the Texans, and I was going to go 17-38 because that number just like speaks to me for some reason. I don't know. But instead, I'm going 24-17. I just think Lamar Miller is going to be able to run the ball on this team.
Yeah.
Him, DeAndre Hopkins, and Deshaun Watson are just going to be too much for this Jets defense today.
I'm going with the Houston Texans, 28-14. I think the Jets are just too banged up right now. The Houston Texans, I think it's a get back on track game for them, and I think they get the job done. And I don't want to hear no more UCLA chants from MJD back in the studio. I heard that little UCLA chant.
That's right. We're listening to you guys here. All right, nothing but horns here. What do you guys there?
All right, I'm the same way as Reggie. 28-14, Texans with the win. Yeah. We didn't even coordinate.
I mean, you know, decent minds think like you're a great mind. He's a not so good mind. So that's how you get decent. I'm going to go 32-14 Texans because you have to bounce back. And what better way to bounce back? Scoring 30 points.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that, MJD. I'm going to give them 31-21, and Texans win this football game because you want to show, like you said, that we are bouncing back and we're ready to move forward.
And even if the Jets lose, if they choose faster, if you will, in Nashville next April, that doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
Just saying. But good luck.
Choose faster.
Choose faster. Is that one way to say?
Yeah, you said it that way.
It's another way. Tank is another way, but they're not doing that. Clearly, they won in Western New York last week, man. Trying to make it 2 in a row.
Faster. Don't ever tank, but choose faster.
It's a pass rushing 99 on the field and against the Jets. Jets used to have a pretty good one, and Mark Gastineau wearing 99 in the sack exchange. Joe Klecko's there today. Back in the day, the Jets, man, they could really get after you, too. They could use somebody to get after them should they choose quicker. There's a lot of pass rushers for those.
You want them to go defense or offense in that early?
I'm a best player available type guy, but there's a lot of pass rushes out there.
After they get Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah, that works. That's not a bad plan. But first, the plan is for us to come back at halftime and for you to be sent down to MetLife Stadium, the first of 2. Kickoff Saturday, week 15. Oh, yeah, they're getting themselves a little bit of police escort to come on out.
Thank you for watching NFL Game Day Kickoff, presented by eBay. If it's happening this season, it's happening on eBay.